Sorry to keep you waiting for so long.
Yeah, well, I haven't had a cell before without windows.
Right.
Ugh.
I can imagine that it hasn't been exactly 5-star.
Yeah, well. So, how long has it been?
Only a few hours. I've been wrapping up doing some
Hmm.
last minute searches, chasing some dead leads. Alex is still missing. Right. So,
Mm-hmm.
on that topic, I think we might as well get started here. I just want to ask some questions. I've already gotten contact with some individuals that you may interact with a little bit more often than myself, as to cross confirm the information you're telling me, as to prove that you are not lying throughout this investigation. Is that okay?
Uh, sure.
Fantastic. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, we can run through this quickly, get you out of here, and you never have to see this place again, whether it's a misunderstanding or not. Okay. So, who are you?
My name's Mabel Teller.
Right.
Um, I'm from New York. Chap here from train hopping. Just a fair few. Bit, um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I don't know my family. I don't know anything but the city until I moved here.
And can you recall how long it's been since you've been here?
It's only a few, 1 or 2 months.
Right. So within that time frame of you spending, you're a East Creek member, right?
Well, I hopped off the tracks by West Creek. I'm living on the outskirts in a tent at the moment. I didn't really plan on staying in West Creek. I was planning to move over to East Creek since I spoke with the mayor in regards to having a museum set up. You've probably seen my site by the train station.
Mm-hmm. I have.
And honestly, I've been either in a pit or in the forest trying to cut up some trees and then spending several days just bringing them over, collecting supplies, or in the river trying to pan anything.
So you've been working on this project for quite some time then.
Yeah. And then I've met, I didn't really talk to a lot of people. I did like say my highs and whatnot whenever folks are in the same store as me or passing by.
And
Or I don't.
throughout your time working on this project, ever so slightly coming across some of the individuals of East and West Creek, have you ever deemed somebody outside of your inner circle suspicious for any reason whatsoever? I can only assume that if you've been here
Mm,
for a few months, that you may have been there when the talk of Scott Flintlock was in its height. Am I correct?
I've seen the flyers, of course. They're quite literally littered everywhere. Um, the missing posters as well, and all that. And it's not that difficult to hear talking along the streets. But even though I've only been here for a few months, I've also been out in the wilderness, like looking for things.
Mm-hmm. And
There's some.
are you aware of
Mhm.
the fact that Scott wasn't exactly well liked, and people who supported Scott was considered a target for less than desirable individuals?
We only met briefly. Just paperwork and such, needing to acquire land.
And you feel no specific feelings for Scott Flintlock? I mean, outside of meeting them once or twice and talking to them, you believe that perhaps what they did to the cities was just, or are you just neutral on that opinion?
I've had my fair share of trouble with the government folks and whatnot, but like I said, yes, a few hours ago, I've always had trouble being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's happenstance.
I understand.
Besides, I can't write, I guess, no strong opinion. I mean, not enough to kidnap someone.
Right. Just trying to gauge your political views here, because one of the biggest contenders for acts of terrorism, kidnapping, and plain old murder is usually fueled by hate for political economies. But it's clear to me, at least, that you feel indifferent about the current state of politics. On that note, how do you feel about Cliff being in charge?
Same as before, or I guess same as, like I said, I went to Scott for paperwork, then I went to Cliff for paperwork, mainly just trying to find a spot. Outside of that, not many meetings. I don't know, maybe a brief wave through the streets or something in the past, but it's the same.
Okay. And which individuals in West Creek or East Creek do you think you could call, at least semi-confidently, a friend?
Um, I did speak with Alex not too long ago, maybe a few weeks ago, just checking in on me because, the living in a tent is not necessarily the safest of places, but I managed my own, and Alex just wanted to check up on me.
Okay. And I am actually curious about that. You do live rough in a tent, as such as me. But the difference between I and you living in a tent is I grew up as rough as can be. Now, don't take this personally, but you don't look like the rough type. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, can you handle a firearm?
I was never. I didn't go into any firefights as a kid, but I did have to patch holes and, scrounge money. I don't know if you want my full life story, but it's not to compare the worst to the worst.
Right. But you have a knack for keeping yourself protected in bad situations.
I guess so. I haven't had a need for it.
Interesting.
I mean, outside of the few wild animals out there, and I have my dog Bongo, and we've been able to stay to the side. I mean, most of the trouble I've found it up was I had, I believe, is it the librarian, Quinn or something? She helped me out in a ditch, literal ditch, when I had accidentally had the rope snap by that church near my tent.
Right.
So,
in the past, you tented up near that church on the hill?
yeah, I figured it's a good site to explore.
Are you aware of the superstition that surrounds the church and its disappearance?
Not particularly.
As a matter of fact, that church was home to quite a lot of ghost stories from some folk that even I can call friends, that truly and utterly believe that whatever's going on up there isn't normal. And as of recently, that
Mm,
church itself seems to have up and disappeared. It's no longer there, and nobody knows where it went. Now, I don't know about you or
I
your lifetime, but I don't think I've ever seen a building get up and walk away.
well, I not full superstitious. Maybe I should be for my line work, but I can be respectful. But I don't know. I'm just trying to find things. I like uncovering things, and I like digging up stuff and finding not like any actual like secrets or rumors or whatever, but like actual nails to the dirt, finding whatnots in the ground. I mean, it beats looking in a trash can, but you know.
I suppose having an interest doesn't necessarily make you any more suspicious, whether it be digging holes and finding trinkets or not. Interesting. Okay, well, let's get a
I
little bit
I
more
I actually I found stuff. That's the reason why I passed by. Um, I was in East Creek and I was going to speak um with the mayor and figure out if some of these stuff were okay to display. So, well, your speech and all that.
right. Well, if Cliff can't seem to return to their duties anytime soon, I'll be happy to try and help you get those things displayed once I've decided whether you're innocent here today. Regardless, I think it's time that we start talking about the elephant in the room, so to speak. You do realize you were the last individual that spoke or interacted anywhere near Alex before their body disappeared. Now, I don't necessarily believe that you're, I wouldn't say capable, but I don't think that you're responsible for the disappearance of Alex. Notably because it doesn't make sense for one person, especially one of your stature, to lift an entire person like that in and out of the clinic without being seen by anybody, especially when it took a majority of the town lifting Alex onto a horse in order to get them there in the first place. So, doing some thinking and ruminating, it's hard to believe that you alone would be capable of taking Alex out without being seen by at least one other individual. It just doesn't make sense. But I can't deny the fact that because of your hair color, because of the lock of hair that was found on the scene of the crime during the explosion, and because you were the last person to interact with Alex, that I have to at least ask. When you walked into that clinic, did you hear or see anything of note before you left? I want you to play the details right back in your head verbatim and tell me what happened when you walked in that clinic and what happened when you walked out.
Okay. Well, you and a handful of others were in the clinic, or you and a group had stepped out, wanting to go. Can't remember somewhere. I mean, I think you were going to question me, but then y'all had like turned the corner. I was a bit split on trying to go up and talk to the folks. I mean, like I said, outside of the mayor, I don't really know much of the people there. I wanted to give my condolences, but grabbed a few of my own medical supplies because I figured I might as well make a little donation. I think I only had a few bandages on me. There was someone who came out. They had a hat on, also with red hair, that had left, went to go find your group.
You might be speaking about Maddie?
No, different. They were purple, I think?
Purple. Okay.
It's another fellow. She walked to. I didn't know where you guys left once you turned the corner, so I just pointed them in towards your direction before I dropped off my supplies, and then I went to fetch my dog because I heard you wanted a dog to maybe sniff up the trail. So I brought my horse, brought it back to West Creek, grabbed Bongo, then went back to East Creek. What was it? Starts with an A. She, one of the one who took my dog after, we met by the explosion site.
You're talking about Aurora.
Yes, we met at the explosion site as I was heading to the clinic, and had mentioned to look inside the site, even though, well, wasn't certain on really poking around, but figured we might as well try. Didn't find anything, and then you guys popped up again.
Looking for you at that time. Right, and then I know how the story plays out from there. Okay. That's kind of what I thought it would happen. Thinking about it, further discussing it with Cliff, they were the only one that heard the chest open before you entered and left, meaning that you were the only one who interacted with the chest. Meaning that you must have been the second to last person to enter that building if you were not the culprit. Whoever entered the building had to be strong enough to lift Alex out of that building, and silent enough to do it without anybody seeing while we were all in a tizzy. So, with all due respect, no discredit to your characterization or your build, but I don't think that's you. Therefore,
I didn't even really go up the stairs. I mean, I did want to say my condolences and my get wells, but
that's fine. It's better that they have some space, especially considering the possible ramifications for people knowing that Cliff is injured and in a vulnerable situation could lead to a little bit of a panic. So, regardless of that fact or anything going forward, I have come to the conclusion that I don't believe that you are, at least as of right now, involved in their group or the situation at hand. And you are cleared of all suspicion. I want to thank you for taking the time speaking with me, and I want to say I'm sorry for immediately grabbing you. I didn't really think it was you, even from the beginning. I think I have quite the intuition, and I would have seen this, but I had to make sure. I can't afford to just go off of my gut anymore, or we're going to lose more people. And that time it'll be my fault.
That's fine. You've been running around the town anyway, and you did say that some people that were hurt were close to you.
Yeah. Well, last thing that I could say before I let you go in free is stay at your home. If we find use for you and your dog, we'll get you ourselves. Aside from that, if you do wander around East Creek, West Creek, or wherever you are currently camped, stay away from the burning building. The debris, the ground zero, whatever you want to call it, just stay away from it. It's completely off limits until further notice, understand?
I'll probably be at this museum site, but yeah.
Right. And once this all blows over, if Cliff is in no shape to help you out with that, I'll be glad to, okay? For your troubles, I suppose.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, the only thing I can think of is if you do make a donation to the museum fund. But outside of that, I know you already have a lot on your plate.
We'll see about it. I would like to get to know some of the residents a little bit more, and it could be worth talking about, so we'll see. As of right now, go ahead and make yourself scarce. Remember, Aurora is the one that might be taking care of your dog right now. I'll show you where to find them on the way out, but go ahead and get your stuff. It's just outside that room, outside of the room in a backpack. And thank you again, and sorry.
All good. It's so stuffy.
You're telling me.